In today's video, we are going to talk about what not to do when planning your Universal Orlando vacation.
If you're new here, on this channel we talk about all things Halloween, Harry Potter, and theme parks. That's something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
We're here.
We have taken a lot of trips to Universal.
A few.
And we have learned the hard way what you should and shouldn't do when planning your vacation.
So on this channel, we generally give you tips about things that we have learned over the years, ways to save you money, ways to save you time, and it got us thinking, why don't we tell them things that we used to do or things that we think a lot of people do and try to help them avoid those things?
So in today's video, we're going to talk about the top 5 things that you should not do when planning your Universal Orlando vacation. Our first tip is don't stay off-site. If you're visiting Universal from far enough away to need a hotel room, Universal has an on-site hotel to fit every budget.
Yep.
Surfside Inn and Suites and Dockside Inn and Suites start at just $80 a night, and you're not going to find a room cheaper than that.
You might find a room cheaper than that, and then you might find yourself wishing that you weren't staying there.
Plus, the benefits that come with staying at one of Universal's on-site properties, like early park admission and free transportation to the parks, it's just a no-brainer.
Early park admission is one of those perks that just sort of gets overlooked and people don't really care about it. But if you're staying for like 4, 5, 6 days, that's basically, depending on what time of year it is, that's like a full day in the park or like a half day in the park.
Yeah.
You can get a lot done during that time. Early park admission is amazing.
We've made the mistake of staying in an Airbnb that definitely looked better in the pictures, or...
No. Before she continues, when she says definitely looked better in pictures, no, we got swindled. She got swindled. It was one of those deals where I was like, hey, take care of this. She's like, hey, I saved us $17 a night by staying at this Airbnb. You remember earlier when I was talking about you'll regret being somewhere? We regretted being there. We did not have a bed to sleep on. It was a mess.
Or in another scenario, waiting 2 hours for an Uber because the off-site hotel shuttle stopped running before it was even dark outside. When you stay on site, you know that everything is going to be taken care of. Transportation to and from your hotel is going to line up perfectly with park hours. You're going to be able to check your luggage the day that you check in and check out with luggage services. Plus, you're going to be guaranteed admission into the parks.
And on top of all of that, guest service, like customer service at Universal, at all their hotels and resorts, has always been fantastic for us. And so by staying offsite, you're risking not getting that amazing customer service. So that alone is one of the main reasons that we always stay on site.
Universal has made it so convenient to stay on site that the only reason not to is if they're completely sold out of rooms.
Our second tip is don't forget to check back on the hotel prices. And what we mean by that is, as you know, we suggest always booking early, 3-6 months in advance, but don't ever think that like whatever price is there is the price you have to pay. Sure, there's plenty of times that we book a hotel for a certain price and we keep checking every 3 days to a week, and the price just keeps going up leading up to the day of our vacation. But more times than not, what ends up happening is we will book at a certain price, we'll watch it, and then as those dates come up, the price may start dropping. We even had a trip, it's probably been 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The price dropped like 2 or 3 times. We had to call, I think it's 3 times we had to call. It ended up saving us about $80 a night. So never think that what you book it for is the final total, because you can save a lot of money just by watching those hotel rates.
If the rates do end up dropping, all you have to do is call Universal and tell them that you would like to rebook your stay at that lower price, and they would be happy to help you.
Yep.
This is also a really great tip for people who have an annual pass, because those annual pass holder discounts on the hotel rooms aren't released at a specified time.
Yeah, they change. We've seen them released super early, like 3-4 months in advance, and then we've seen them released like the month of our vacation. So always, if you're an annual pass holder, always make sure you look on the website first, and if you're just not seeing them, sometimes it's worth calling and they can help you out.
Speaking of annual passes, our next tip is don't purchase multi-day tickets without comparing them to annual passes.
Yeah.
If you've ever visited Universal, you know that the tickets are not cheap.
Yeah, you've never heard anybody in line like walking into Universal like, "Oh my God, they are so inexpensive here. I can't believe they're letting us in for basically free." It just no.
If you're visiting the parks for 4 or 5 days and looking at purchasing park-to-park tickets, that can cost several $100s per person. The base level annual pass starts at $350 per person, and you get access to the parks for an entire year. So if you're already going to spend that much money, why not upgrade?
Yeah, and with purchasing an annual pass, there are a lot of additional benefits.
Yeah.
We're not saying it makes sense in every situation, but we're saying that it makes sense in a lot of situations.
Something to keep in mind is that some of the passes do come with blockout dates, so make sure you do your homework before you purchase them. Also, if you have already purchased multi-day tickets for an upcoming trip, Universal will let you use the money that you have paid towards those tickets and put it towards an annual pass instead.
And also, if you've went ahead and purchased an annual pass, you can upgrade that annual pass at any time, so always keep that in mind.
Our next tip is don't purchase express passes without looking at the premier hotels. A lot of people that are visiting Universal for the first time overlook the fact that the 3 premier hotels, which are Royal Pacific, Portofino Bay, and Hard Rock, come with an unlimited express pass for everyone that is staying in your room.
Yeah, a lot of times, like, you just see people, they'll look at the price for Cabana Bay and it's like, $150 a night or something.
Yeah.
And then they see, oh man, Hard Rock's $400 a night. We'll just stay at Cabana Bay and then we'll purchase express passes.
Right. The express passes are good for the day you check in all the way through the day that you check out. And it's a really good way, especially if there's a lot of people staying in your hotel room, to save some money. Express passes start at $100 per person per day and can get as much as $300 when the parks are busy.
Yeah.
So even though the premier passes are going to be at least $100 to $200 more per night, that still makes more sense than paying an extra $300 per person per day for the express passes.
And we should have probably lumped this in with this, but we most of the time recommend not even purchasing express passes until you get into the parks. We like to assess the situation in the parks. If the wait times aren't that bad or there's something you can deal with, don't buy them. Don't waste that money.
Right.
There's certain times of year, like peak season, Christmas, things like that, where buying them early is probably smarter because they do get more expensive as more people purchase them.
Right.
But most of the time, we recommend just waiting till you get there.
The last tip on our list is don't assume that the Universal vacation packages are always the best deal.
You know what happens when you assume? No, seriously, we have had plenty of times where we've looked at the vacation packages just to sort of see and compare to the prices that we're getting. And they have saved, if we'd have booked it like that, we'd have saved a couple $100.
Right.
We've never seen it where it just saves you piles of money or anything like that, but you can save some money looking at them. However, we have looked at packages and compared them to how we were booking it, and we were actually getting more things with the way that we were booking them, and it was $1,000 more expensive. So always just look at those packages and use them as a point of reference and not necessarily this is the best that it gets, can we beat it? Because there's just times where you're going to save money by booking them yourself.
We believe that you can book an amazing Universal vacation and stay within your budget if you just do your homework.
Yeah, I mean, if you probably noticed in the list, that's what we do. We just compare everything. That's what we've had to learn to do over the years. And it's really helped us not only make the most out of all of our vacations, but it's helped us save a lot of money, and we love saving money.
If you're looking for some tips and tricks for your next Universal vacation, you can check out our trip planning guide, where we talk about everything from our express passes to on-site hotels to dining plans, annual passes, and more. So we'll leave a link down in the description so you can check that out.
We'll also put one right here. Bye-bye. All right, guys, that wraps up today's video. Leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know what the biggest mistake you've ever made while planning a trip to Universal is.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. You can hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell notification so you get an alert every time we post a new video.
Don't click off the video yet. Thanks for watching.